Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining this month's Founder Investor Meetup event. This is our fourth in the last 6 months.
How do you recognize that a company really has put into action a lot of the right kinds of business, operational, sales, marketing practices that is going to make that business interesting to you?
Your capital raising strategy and saying, this is where we are in the lifespan of a CPG brand. Instead of just going out to market broadly, let's focus on specific, whether it's angel investors or groups like ours that are, looking to write that $1 to $3 to $5 million check, and just being a little more intentional about where you're raising capital from. Specific to access capital, we look for high growth brands and emerging trends. We look at things like total addressable market. We want to see it's a large TAM. We see a lot of brands and ideas that they come and they may have a large market share, but the total addressable market is rather small. An analogy that was always given to me was kale chips versus sparkling water 4 or 5 years ago. You could be the largest kale chip manufacturer brand in the country, and still your total addressable market would be rather small, as opposed to a tiny brand in the seltzer or sparkling water category, and you could still have tons of white space and tons of ACV to grow. So a line of sight to profitability. I think before, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, it was kind of grow top line at any rate, at any cost. And strategics were just buying revenue at that point. And then things have shifted in the last 18 to 24 months as strategics have gotten quieter. Our last 4 brands have been acquired by SPACs and private equity groups, no strategics. And so I think there's a little more, they're paying a little more attention to the fundamentals. So a founder that really knows his numbers, Mark Cuban on Shark Tank, he always says, you got to know your numbers, Pat, your gross margins, your product margins, your COGS, those things. If we talk to a founder that's at all wishy-washy and doesn't have his arms around the numbers or her arms around the numbers, that's a red flag for us. So I think knowing those numbers down pat, having a path to profitability, understanding your market, how really big is your market, and is that TAM worth running at?